Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, I want to thank you for conducting today's subcommittee hearing. And I welcome the opportunity to discuss the President's fiscal year 2012 budget proposals for the U.S. Coast Guard, the Federal Maritime Administration, and the Federal Maritime Commission. Maritime transportation remains a critical component of our national economy, contributing over $10 billion annually and generating nearly 270,000 jobs. So today's message is clear that we must continue to invest wisely to facilitate, protect, and regulate maritime commerce if we want to see the U.S. economy expand and flourish. Mr. Chairman, I have a great deal of interest in how Congress spends our taxpayers' money and saves taxpayers' money. There may be a practical reality that forces hardworking public servants to do more with less. However, today's testimony shows plainly that more will not get done with less. Rather, less will get done with less. Regrettably, too much emphasis is currently being placed on how much can we cut rather than a more appropriate question, which is how can we best direct federal resources to generate economic growth and spur job creation. It's our responsibility to ensure that these maritime agencies, which oversee fair and competitive shipping practices, that respond to disastrous oil spills or assist vessels in distress, or that retain a secure fleet of ships to support overseas deployment of our armed services, have the necessary resources to fulfill their respective missions. Now, supporters and critics of the Coast Guard contend that its budget is insufficient for the demands placed on the service's nearly 50,000 military and civilian full-time employees. Comment at PAP, you acknowledged in your recent 2011 State of the Coast Guard address that, quote, the Coast Guard does not have the resources to perform at 100% in every one of its missions on every given day. You went on to say that more with less is not an acceptable option. Without continued recapitalization, we will not be semper paratus. I'm not convinced that the budget request for the Coast Guard before us today is adequate to meet the demands that we have placed upon the service. I'm interested in hearing how my colleagues expect the service to do more with less and what trade-offs they will find acceptable. Now, the Maritime Administration is in a similar situation. MARAD has two critical investment programs that support our domestic shipbuilding industry, and they are both targeted for reduction. First, Title 11 Guaranteed Loan Program provides federally guaranteed loans for purchasers of U.S. flagships built or reconstructed by U.S. shipbuilding industry for the modernization of U.S. shipyards. Vessels constructed under Title 11 contribute to the ability of the United States to carry its foreign and domestic waterborne commerce, to help sustain efficient shipbuilding facilities, and help preserve a skilled shipbuilding workforce. No new funds for loan guarantees are requested for FY12. Of the unrequested amounts made available in 09 and 10, $54.1 million is proposed for cancellation. These proposals effectively kill these investments that generate good-paying jobs here in the U.S. And second, the budget requests no additional funds for assistance to small shipyards program. Similar to Title 11, these funds invest in American port infrastructure, create American jobs, and help domestic shipyards such as Nichols Brothers Boat Builders located in Freeland, Washington, helping them make the necessary capital investments to remain competitive and generate new business. Mr. Chairman, these cuts will not result in more with less, but less with less. I know there's a strong desire to cut federal spending. I myself have voted for cuts in the last CR debate. And I agree that we must bring discipline to the nation's fiscal house, but I urge that we temper that effort with reason and sound judgment. Now, despite these tight budgets called for in FY12, I am pleased with the administration's proposed a modest increase for the Federal Maritime Commission. In light of the important role the Commission has in monitoring world shipping practices, especially the growing trans-Pacific trade, I will want to hear from Chairman Ladinsky on how the Commission intends to use new funding to support U.S. exports, ensure fair competition, and protect American consumers. In closing, Mr. Chairman, the Congress has recognized that since the founding of our republic, that our nation's economic prosperity is interwoven with maritime commerce. The maritime agencies before us today carry on that legacy of federal support for our domestic maritime industry and the oversight of maritime commerce that produces annually billions of dollars in economic activity and thousands of jobs. America does not want less with less. What America wants is an efficient and effective federal government. When it comes to maritime commerce, that should be an objective on which we can all agree. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.